I don't know if 2017 in WWE was good or bad because it was such a mixed bag. We were also knee-deep in the ignore the fans era, which made things harder than they needed to be. Given recent changes, it almost feels like two different companies. Let us figure out why that was, though, as much as we can by bolstering your brain with wrestling trivia from the year 2017. My name is Simon Miller. Number 10, the Magical Royal Rumble carts. Sadly, that is not an amazing wrestling theme park ride, but I guess this makes sense. WWE had done this years ago at WrestleMania in order to keep entrances as concise as possible. So, given the Royal Rumble was in a massive stadium, let's just do it again. It was mostly reserved for the larger guys, as I guess technically they would be the slowest. So Mark Henry, The Big Show, Braun Strowman, they were all allowed to jump in a cart that zipped them to the squared circle. The problem was, head of production Kevin Dunn thought this looked silly and told the camera crew to shoot around it. So yeah, it just looked like they were floating. It was really strange. I think he also forgot it was the social media age, so fans just posted all of this to Twitter. And remember that somebody was actually driving these, so when the camera did zoom out, well, I tell you, it just looked utterly ridiculous. Number 9, the shortest main event ever. Most people think when it comes to pay-per-views, Goldberg vs. Lesnar from 2016 Survivor Series would be right up there, and it's true. Actually, you've got to stop by 2017. Because if you do head to Fastlane, WWE felt like we should go even faster, as Bill killed Universal Champion Kevin Owens in 22 seconds. This was rubbish. It's even worse looking back now, as Owens never got around to, but yeah, in terms of a pre-scheduled fight that closed the show, nothing has gone faster than this. Not worrying about nonsense like Hulk vs. Yoko from Mania 9. That was an entire farce, and again, nobody knew it was coming. And look, I never minded Goldberg killing people either, as he did it so well, but it's all about reading the room. This wasn't as impactful either, because we had just done the same thing at the Survivor Series, and there was a title on the line. Just change it up. I would be amazed if WWE ever did anything like this again unless a huge story was involved, and that's the other thing. There was no proper narrative here. We did it because that's what Goldberg does. It's a shame WWE forgot that when he first came in 2003. Number 8, Goldberg's entire comeback lasted 10 minutes. Fair play to that guy. What a worker. I know I've just confessed sadness about this too, but that was more from the vantage point of a world title and Kevin Owens. In terms of using Goldberg, yeah. Less is more, intensity is everything, we all knew that. WWE just got the balance wrong, but still, from that comeback in late 2016 until WrestleMania 33, Bill's total running time was 9 minutes and 54 seconds. That is the famous 1 minute 26 against Brock Lesnar, then he lasted 3 minutes 21 in the Rumble, then we had the 20 seconds with Kevin, finally 4 minutes and 45 seconds when he faced Lesnar for the second time at WrestleMania. Incredible. Given a lot of these were main events, I don't think this will ever be repeated either. Even somebody like Bron Breakker, who clearly is modeled after Goldberg's work, has longer matches, because that's the way these days. So if you do need extra trivia for any potential quizzes, I'd remember this one. I have a feeling it will come up a lot. Probably more than Goldberg actually wrestled. Number 7, Sasha Banks vs. Alexa Bliss. To this day, we still don't really know what was going on here. Was a bit weird. It came on the 9th of July Raw after the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, where Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss got into their feud. Renee Paquette was hosting their back and forth when Sasha went nuts at Alexa, shouting that she was never a fan of wrestling growing up, and all other talk was utter lies. Renee clearly tried to move things on, with instead Banks yelling, "Look, you don't have to come from the indies to be here, but you do have to respect it." So who knows what was happening here? I mean, if this was a work, it's how you do it. What raised a lot of eyebrows was Sasha using words like heel, which was a big Vince McMahon no-no, but we have seen exceptions made in the past. See CM Punk. There's also the fact this program went a long time, so I assumed it was part of the plan. Actually, the truth is today we don't know, because none of this has come out in the wash. So yeah, maybe we did lose our cool. Can't fault it, people are still discussing it today. Number 6, Jinder Mahal is forced to do a promo. We found this out recently after Jinder Mahal was released from WWE and did the interview tour. Yeah, it's bad stuff. I think we all tried to forget the awful promo he cut on Shinsuke Nakamura when Mahal was the WWE champion. Basically, let's laugh at Shinsuke because he's from Japan. So dumb. It was September though, and Jinder chuckled at the way Nakamura spoke and even referenced the Karate Kid. I mean, come on. Unsurprisingly, Jinder didn't want to do any of this, as he told Chris Van Fleet. When he protested to Vince McMahon, he got told he had no choice. The excuse was that it was just Mahal's character, but after the fact, the public response was so bad, a social media apology was put together to try and calm the aftermath. Then, of course, at the last second, McMahon changed his mind and said, nope, we're not publishing it. Let's just ride out the heat. It got worse too, as Jinder was essentially told if he didn't do it, he could pack his bags and go home. This isn't the wrestling we want or need. It's meant to be fun. This was not fun. Number 5, Mania 33 was the first without Howard Finkel. And given that Howard was part of the first one, that is an incredible run. Even though we mostly knew him as the head ring announcer, Finkel was just the man doing anything to help behind the scenes. When he passed away in 2020, the outpouring of love was universal. Everybody was a fan of the Fink. 2017 was the first time he wasn't connected with WrestleMania, and even after the microphone was taken from him, he was still the Hall of Fame guy. Alas, no more. Facts are facts, though, and it means Howard appeared on more WrestleManias than Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, and even The Undertaker. There's a small chance no one will ever break this record, and good. Let's keep Finkel's memory alive. Number 4, the Hardy Boys surprised us all. This was so smart. While there were rumors the Hardy Boys could return at WrestleMania 33, Matt and Jeff then worked the Ring of Honor show the night before. That was that. It ain't happening. Of course, as veterans of the game, this was the plan, as the Hardys knew that would make people second-guess themselves. Bingo. So when guest host The New Day walked out onto the stage before the tag title match and announced a mystery contender, we all thought it was going to be Kofi Kingston, a Big E, maybe Xavier Woods, but no, it was indeed the Hardys. The pop was amazing, as I think people were genuinely surprised, as was the locker room. The word has always been the brothers turned up literally minutes before they were meant to go out. I have 2 words for this. Love it. Number 3, The Undertaker breaks records, as he was the first guy in his 50s to main event a WrestleMania. Bam! He was 52 years old when he faced Roman Reigns to close the show of shows, and sure, today The Rock has joined this class, but that was 7 years later. The dead man was first. You can throw in names like Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan, but when they were in their 6th decade, they didn't headline. The only shame here was the match itself. It's nowhere near as bad as some people make out, but Taker himself has said it was not the performance that was needed. He regrets it to this day, even though there's no need. Kind of feel like the real-life Mark Calloway gave us enough. There were rumors at the time it could have been his last fight too, but again, as it didn't go to plan, the Phenom wanted to have a proper send-off, which he did 3 years later with the Boneyard match. Number 2, and he said sorry. Yep, this ties in. We learned a lot about it during the Undertaker documentary that aired on the WWE network. Taker did admit he reached out to Roman following all of this, and surprise, surprise, Reigns told him it was fine. And again, it's not terrible by any means. Just sort of falls apart a little bit in the middle. It certainly doesn't affect The Undertaker's legacy, which is why Roman said it was all good, I'm sure, but you can see how the man in black feels about it. During the doc, you see him watching it back as he cringes away, and I get it. We all have high standards in regards to our passion. In hindsight, Taker also thinks this should have been his first loss at WrestleMania, but really, that is on the company. Reigns still got mad heat on that Raw following the event, and WWE didn't capitalize on it at all. Looking back now, that was utterly ridiculous. Number 1, Vince McMahon goes off. All things considered, it sounds most unfair. At WrestleMania 33, though, we did get Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens as they blew off their very good feud on the grandest stage. Problem was, it was put on second, and as Chris himself said, that sucked. Just meant Vince didn't understand what he had here. As told to us by KO, though, once he was done and walked backstage, he asked McMahon if they were good, and Vince said no. Oh dear. This is all caught on camera as the Mania 33 documentary was being shot, and later on the boss called it the worst match in WrestleMania history. Sorry, that's just a lie. Jericho admitted that Vince even laid into Kevin about being out of shape, which is also stupid. Have you ever seen that man get blown up? Exactly. Chris agreed that all of this was ridiculous, especially when you think about the likes of The Undertaker versus the Giant Gonzalez. Yeah, he's right. That ended with a man being drugged. It was also way better than some of the matches Vince had been in at the show of shows. So I don't want to be this guy, but I kind of think somebody just threw their toys out of the pram. Know of any other trivia bits about 2017 you'd like to share with the world? Then make sure you drop a comment below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Then for even more information for your brain, make sure you click the WWE related video on the screen. Otherwise, have a terrific day, my friends, and I will talk to you again soon.